Hello and welcome. My name's Angie Holden and I'm the blogger behind The Country Chic Cottage. Today we are going to talk about making cards on your Cricut machine with no card mat at all. So no matter what Cricut machine you have, you can make cards out of just regular cardstock. And I always am surprised by people that have this question on my posts that use the card mat. And yes, of course, you can make the same cards just out of cardstock if you want and not buy like the card kits, like the insert cards. So today I'm going to use cardstock and just my regular LightGrip mat to make some cards. And I'm going to show you in Design Space a few different options. You can find cards that are just like a traditional card, pick it and make it right in Design Space. But I'm also going to show you an option for choosing those super popular insert cards and cutting those out of cardstock instead of purchasing insert cards from Cricut and the card mat and making those on your Cricut machine. So first of all, let's get started looking at the supplies that I'm going to use. The supplies you're going to need are as follows. So you'll need cardstock, some kind of glue, more than likely to hold your card together unless you make a knockoff of like the insert cards where you won't need glue. You might need a pen if you're going to write on your card. You could use the foil tool. You can use any of the Cricut tools that will work on cardstock with this project as well. And then more than likely you're going to want to add a scoring line. So I have my scoring stylus here and I am going to use my Cricut Explorer 2. Now this will work with any Cricut machine. However, the Cricut Joy is going to be extremely limited on size. It was the reason the card mat was made. So if you're going to make cards without a card mat, it would have to be very, very small cards to use the Cricut Joy. So now let's head to Cricut Design Space and see how to design your cards. Let's talk about finding card images. There's a few different ways we can go about this. So first of all, you do want to make sure that your machine type is picked. Now with the Cricut Joy, you will be limited, as I said in the beginning of this. So I do have my Explorer picked and I'm going to click Projects. Within Projects, you could search for cards. So let's search for birthday card. From here you have several options. So you could pick ones like this was probably designed to be used with insert cards and you can click on it and you can see that it was. We could pick that and alter it. We could pick some that were not designed to be used with insert cards like this version. And we can scroll down and see that it is made to be used with cardstock. The easy way out is going to be to use the ones that were designed to be used with cardstock. So let's go ahead and click Make It on this one and I'll show you what I'm talking about. And at this point we would pick On the Mat and click Continue. And because I just clicked Make It on that project, it goes directly to the mat and I'm ready to make it. And it has my card here. There's even an envelope as well as an insert that you can add to the card itself. This is a foil card, so it'll write with a foil tip, and you can see that here. And then this insert goes on the inside to write your sentiment because they designed this card to be out of a black cardstock, and you would need something to write on the inside. Now if we click Cancel, and we click Customize, you can now see that card on the mat and see all of the pieces, delete them, or alter them however you would like. That's one version that's intended to be cut from cardstock. Let's say I search birthday card. And I'm going to pick this version, and it's made to be used on insert cards. So I'm going to pick the finished size that I want it to be, and I'm going to click Customize. So here we have just a set of cut lines because this is made to be used with the insert card kits. What if I didn't want to buy those insert card kits? Well, I'm going to use shapes, and I'm just going to use the rectangle shape, and we can unlock this. What we want to do is make it where this cut goes on the front of our card, which is a rectangle. So this is 6.375. So let's make the height 6.75. And then the width would need to be over double of what this is. And these are not exact at all, and you could play with these numbers, but let's say we wanted a 1/4 inch on each side. So that means I want a 5-inch front, so I'm going to unlock this and make the width 10. So now if I bring this to the front, I can lay it over this card and see exactly what it's going to look like. Then we will also need to add a score line. So I'm going to add a line. I'm going to make that line the same size as my card, so 6.75. It's already a score operation. And we're going to pick the line and the card, align, and center. I'm going to go ahead and change this card to another color so you can see a little better and you can see my score line there. Now if I'm to lay this cut over here, you can see that it's going to fit inside of my card. The other element you're going to need is an insert. So I'm going to add a shape and I'm going to add a rectangle. So for the size of my insert, I want to unlock this and I want it a little less than the size of these cuts. So I'm going to click over here, be sure this is unlocked, and make this 4.4. And then this is 6.375, so I'm going to make it 6.275. And that should fit where you can put it over the top and you can see portions of that cut in each corner. Now you can make this maybe a little bit bigger, but I would caution you not to go too big because you do want it to fit. So now I have an insert and I have my card ready to go, but I need to do one more thing. So these are all separate layers. What we're going to do is pick the card and everything on the card and click attach. So now I have a card that will cut, an insert that will cut, and all of a sudden I have made my own insert cards, and I don't need a card mat, and I don't need the Cricut insert card kits. So this was one way to do that with projects. However, we can do the same thing if we click images. We could search for birthday card here. Again, we can pull up cards that are just made to be made out of cardstock. They might even have an envelope with them. We could pull up cards that were made to be insert cards and use the same trick that we use for the projects. These would work in the same way. The other thing you could do is make a card yourself. So you can go to shapes, you can go to rectangle, you can make the card whatever size and shape you want. Add text, add cutouts, whatever you want. Just be sure to attach them together as I've done here. The only thing I'm going to caution you about when you're making your own cards like I've done here, I don't have an envelope as part of this like I did when I pulled that project up. And this card is an odd size at this point. If you're going to make your own cards, you might want to purchase envelopes, measure those to make sure your cards will fit inside, and make like these designs to fit that. Or pick projects that have an envelope, delete off the card if you don't like the card, and make your own card to size to fit that envelope. But if you're going to need an envelope with the card, that is one thing to consider. Totally optional, but one thing you can do, let's say I want to write on the inside of this card. Maybe I want to write a sentiment, my handwriting isn't the best, whatever. How can you do that? Let's take a look. So what I like to do, as long as there's not writing on the front. If there's writing on the front, then you're pretty much out of luck unless you want to make like an insert with writing on it and glue it to the inside. But this one doesn't have writing on the front, so I can do flip horizontal. Now my card is backwards, and I can add text. Once you have your text typed, you want to pick a writing font. So we're going to click filters, and I'm going to click writing. And we can pick Cricut or system fonts. I find Cricut fonts do better for writing, just my opinion. And I'm going to pick a font. I picked BFC Perfect Practice, and now I can change that to writing. And now as you see, everything looks good. I'm going to locate it on my card, pick the card and the writing, and click attach. Now let's see how to make and cut this card with my Cricut machine. No card mat required. I went ahead and added my cardstock to the mat. Now remember, the front of this card will be what's against the mat because I'm going to cut the card first. So if your cardstock has a front and a back, the front would go to the mat. Then I have my fine point blade installed, and I went ahead and put my scoring stylus, which is what Cricut is calling for first, into the pen holder of my machine. Now we'll just add the mat and go ahead and load it. I am using the cardstock setting. There are a variety of cardstock settings in Cricut Design Space, and you can pick the one that will work for your material. And go ahead and click Go to Cut. The machine will first score your material. Once it's done scoring, it will stop. You remove the scoring stylus, add your pen. In this case, I'm doing black. Close the clamp, and press the go button again. It will now write with the pen before starting to cut. Then once your cuts are done, you'll just remove this from your machine, and then you can remove the card from the mat. So always remember to turn the mat over and peel the mat back from the project. Then you can continue to remove the rest of these small pieces, and I'm going to cut my insert for this card in the same manner. So I'm going to put that cardstock on the mat and cut it as well, and we'll come back and see how to assemble this. So now I have my insert as well as my card. I can fold the card along the score line, so you should be able to see that score line. You see our sentiment on the inside, and then just fold that card along the score line. And then in the same way, if you've ever used insert cards, I'm just going to add this insert to the inside of my card. And now, no glue required, and I have a cute birthday card that's ready to give. So now that I made this card, you can see the potential of making your own cards with your Cricut machine. Whether you choose a more traditional card or you go with the insert card, you can make cards with your Cricut machine and just the LightGrip mat. Now, I chose to do the insert card version. Could you do this with the other card kit versions that Cricut offers? Yes, absolutely. So first of all, they have the cutaway cards. So the cutaway cards cuts away and has like the backer behind it. You can do those. You would just have to use glue to attach all those little pieces that's going to cut out of the center. And you would put, where I put this insert, you would glue it to the inside after the card was cut. Then they have foil card kits. The answer to that is to add foil designs to the front of your card and use the foil tool. And yes, you can make foil cards with your Cricut machine. So, all you really need to make cards is cardstock, a LightGrip mat, and a Cricut machine. Now, as I stated in this video, the Cricut Joy really wouldn't work with this, or your cards would have to be very, very tiny to fit on the Joy mat. So that's the original reason why the card mat was kind of introduced. It's because the Joy, in order to make larger cards, you would need to cut a cut and folded card. And then people wanted that same ease of use with their regular Cricut machine, so the 2x2 card mat was introduced. Now, those cards are still super easy to make, right? I can make 4 at a time. I just buy the insert card kits, I slip them in the pockets, and I'm ready to cut 4 cards at once. And I can just pick those designs in Cricut Design Space and start cutting. However, maybe you don't like the card mat, maybe you don't want to purchase one, maybe you have tons of cardstock at home and you want to use it up to make some cards. You can still make regular cards with your Cricut machine. You don't have to purchase those card kits from Cricut, and you can use those designs that are in Cricut Design Space that are intended for something like insert cards to make cards with cardstock. So I hope this helps some of you make your cards even if you just want to use cardstock in your regular mat. If you like this video, if it helped you, give us a thumbs up. If you have any questions about making cards with your Cricut machine, drop down in the comment section, ask away. If you haven't already, head on over to our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. We have videos just like this one every single week, and trust me, you don't want to miss any of those. So thank you guys so much for joining me, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.